Okay, moving on to Heian Yondan or Pinan Yondan, depending on your style. Okay, and around here. Now, seeing different applications for it, and I'm not saying any particular one is right or any particular one is wrong. I'll just show you my favourite or my particular take on it. Now, when we first started learning this kata, we was taught to very forcefully drop down. Okay, then more in latter days they used to treat it more as just a drop. Now, I prefer the drop because that first part, if I can borrow Paul, please. Okay, like if someone's grabbed both of your wrists. Now again, try this with a partner. Okay, if you do the first one, the forceful one, as soon as you tense up, start strengthening up, he's going to tighten his grip. Okay, so as soon as he feels any kind of tension in me, he's going to tighten it, and it's going to be very difficult to do. So what you want to think of is like, imagine you sort of say, drop something and you're quickly going down to catch it. Okay, he grabs again. Now, the second I tense, like I say, he's going to tighten as well. So, just let go for a second, please. If you drop something and you went to catch it, there'll be absolutely no tension beforehand at all. And that's what we're looking at here. No tension beforehand, just straight down as if you're going to pick something up or you're trying to catch something from falling. Okay, so he's holding me. Okay, so that takes him off balance a little bit. Okay, then I come around and I'm breaking his grab there. And I can go into whatever I like there. Bang. Other movements in the kata which come in later. Okay, these movements come into kata. You've got the strike, elbow, whatever you like. So again, I go side on to him as I do it. So drop, coming around, disengage, and then, like I say, go to wherever in the kata you want to go to. Elbow, shooter, whatever. Okay, and then of course we've got it on the other side, and we've got this X block. Now, I don't like X blocks as an application there for a couple of reasons. One is, in my early days in training, in my first club, I remember there's quite a big stocky guy, and he was sparring with another black belt, and as a stocky guy coming with a Maga, the other guy went to block it. So just come in, Maga, please, just slowly. The other guy come in to block it, and because this kick was so powerful, the blocking one was literally lifted off the floor and deposited backwards. So it's not particularly good against a powerful kick. And if it was a powerful kick, I'd rather be stepping out the way, getting to the side of it anyway, rather than trying to meet force with force. The other thing is, if he comes in slowly with a Maga, okay, if I've committed 2 hands down there, he's now got 2 hands free. So I'm not really in a very clever position there. Okay? It's not really a good idea to commit 2 hands when he's got 2 hands free. Again, I'd rather be stepping to the side of it, getting out the way. Okay? So, they say X block, but I don't think of it as an X block. Okay, so if you come this side, please, Paul. One of my favourite applications for this one is, again, from the grip. Okay? I'll do it the way the kata does it. So again, I drop down. I come round there to disengage. Now I'm going to grab his head. Okay, what would have been the top knot and the chin, and then I tilt his head. Okay, now his balance is gone. Now I'm not going to do this for obvious reasons. If you just step away, Paul. So I've got him in that prone position. Okay, you basically throw him on the floor. Now again, martial arts give you different levels of violence. So if you grab again, please, Paul. Okay, I can drop, weaken his grip, come round there, grab his head. I can just take him to there, like, calm down, calm down, calm down. Okay, and if he does calm down, great, I've got a result, because he can't do very much from there. If he doesn't calm down, and he still wants to carry on fighting, I'll just let Paul go. If he wants to carry on fighting, I've got the option, head on the floor. Okay, very nasty one, but then karate was designed to be nasty. It wasn't designed for cage fighting or competitions or tournaments. It was designed to hurt people who were trying to hurt you. Okay? But like I say, there are different levels of violence. So although we've got these brutal things where you're potentially smacking someone's skull on the ground, at the same time, you've got the halfway position where you can restrain them and get them to calm, or talk to them and try and calm them down first. So, like I say, you've got options. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is where we do this back fist strike and kiagi and coming around that way. Now, that's a Shotokan way of doing it. In the predecessor, Shorin Ryu, they did more like a hammer fist and a Maga front kick instead. So there's different ways of performing this. But basically, he's grabbing. Okay, now, oh sorry, thank you. Usually when people describe this movement, they normally describe it as being a back fist strike, a simultaneous kick and back fist strike, which first of all, that's going to be wrong because the distances are out. I can't do both techniques at the same time. Some people also describe it as coming in with a haymaker, and I'm blocking there and kicking, whichever kick you want to do, and then coming in with the elbow strike. Now, it can work, but there are a few issues there. I mean, firstly, if I try and just relax, if I try and pull his head in towards me and he resists, it's difficult. So rather than pulling him onto it, I've got to fly myself into it, which, yeah, okay, that will work, but again, we're adding another not quite so easy dimension to it. So, it's difficult to pull him in. If I pull from the top of the head, yeah, then it's easier to pull him in. It's always much easier to pull from the crown than it is, more muscles down there, not so much muscles up there, more leverage, easier to pull him down. So I can do it that way. Now when I do it, I'm hitting that big bony skull. Okay, so again, it's going to hurt, but it's not the optimal way of using a technique like this to hit him on his most protected parts. And there's possibility I might even damage my bone as well, because that bone's bigger than that one. Okay, so again, it's not ideal. Another thing is, if I have hit him with that one, then I've got to quickly go around there before I do anything else. So rather than kind of hit him, go around the back, why not hit him? Again, that would be much more logical than hitting. There's a delay while I go around the back. So here's my take on it. So again, if you grab my wrist, please, nice and tight. So we're going to do this 45 degrees. Okay, I'm going to move to his side. Okay, if you put your hand up like that, that's a threat. Okay, so it makes sense to come round to the side. Okay, now that can be in Shotokan, we do it like a back fist strike, and it gets me into position. Okay, the predecessor style, Shorin Ryu, they did it more like a hammer fist. Okay, the advantage of doing it that way, I can come round, I can release, now I can grab his head and pull him onto that elbow. Now I'm hitting the much more vulnerable part at the back. And the other thing is, if he turns round, so I turn out towards me, if I'm pulling this way, as I mentioned, I get a lot of resistance. If I've turned him round and I put my hand there, you normally get a flinch reaction coming back. So not only do I not have to pull him so hard, he's actually moving for me. Because whenever you're not expecting it, someone goes, hand in the face, there's a flinch reaction that goes with it. So now I'm hitting the much more vulnerable parts on the back of the skull or the neck. Be very, very careful with that. If you're hitting on the back of the neck, that can be very, very dangerous. So again, you've got to be able to justify using a move like that. Okay? It might be that he doesn't kind of go all the way around, okay, and I get into the side of their head. Different people are going to move different ways. Okay, they're not all going to react the same way. So some people will turn all the way around, some people maybe turn halfway. But even there, if I'm coming in, again, I've got the temple, I've got the cheekbone, I've got the neck, I've got the ear, I've got all the weak points on the side of the head rather than the strong points. So there's a much more advantageous way of doing it. And again, it completely fits in with the attack, because he's expecting to hit me, and suddenly I'm on the side and I'm on top of him. Now also you may be thinking, well hang on, there's a kick in there which I've missed out. Now as I come round there, now I've got a kick in there. In the katas we do it nice and high, in reality, just coming in there is going to be lovely, because we'll do it around the other way so come and see better. Okay, so you grab, okay, I come down there. Again, the knee is drawn from the front. It's got a certain amount of resistance, that's the way it bends. If I come around the side and I kick it that way, it's got no resistance at all, okay, it's very weak. Okay, again, if you use techniques like this, karate was designed to be brutal. Yeah, it wasn't designed for competitions, it wasn't even designed for cage fighting, it was designed to be a lot more brutal than that. So again, looking at possibly popping the kneecap there. I could come up maybe a bit higher into the femoral artery, which again is another very painful place, or up into the groin. So I could do that, then come in, finish off if I wanted to. So it all depends what level of violence you want to put into this. If he has the other leg forward, okay, so we've ended up, if he's got the other leg forward instead, I can still kick there, I can still kick that kneecap, and again, I can do either the front leg or the back leg. It doesn't really matter which leg I use. If he's got the front leg forward, I might just come up through that way. So I've got a lot of different targets, yeah? So again, the main thing is, there's a threat, I'm moving away from the threat, I can take the knee out if I want to, then come round, I say grab in there, he's likely to flinch towards me, and then I've got that nasty strike there, okay? So we do that movement on both sides. Then the next movement is this one, okay? Now, in the kata, we're already there when we do it, okay? I'm going to assume that we're starting face onto the opponent, and I'm going to move into that position. That's going to be my assumption for taking this movement. Now, if he grabs me in both hands, so I can come on this side, please. Okay. Now then, again, the main threat here is a headbutt. When somebody grabs you this way, easiest defense is basically just hit them. He's got two hands tied up, I've got two hands free. So I've actually got a big advantage. He's actually tied himself up here a little bit. But again, there is a threat of the headbutt. And if that lands, that can be very, very nasty. So using that movement while I step to the side, here, I've actually come off his line a little bit. So I'm offline for the headbutt. Okay, I'm also offline for that back leg kicking me. So I've taken myself off his immediate line. Okay. Also, you can see his structure's gone a little bit. He's leaning forward, so I've taken his structure a little bit. Now, if I do that and at the same time do that, there's my open-handed Gidenbai or lower block, and I've completely tied up his arms. Okay. Then the next movement is very forceful, coming back very forcefully with these hips. And as you do that, again, you take his structure even more, and as you do so, now I've got that neck nicely lined up for that shooter to come round. Okay, in the kata is coming round there. In reality, he's moved, so I'm going to come round a little bit further, and I may need to come down with it rather than across. But that doesn't matter. I've still got a lovely technique there. Okay, so again, from there, main point is, first of all, I can bring my hands up and say, oh look mate, I don't want any trouble. I've got an excuse for having my hands where I want them to be. And from his perspective, I'm pleading, I'm backing down, so it gives him false confidence. Then I come off his line, strike down as I do it, okay, so my stance is facing towards you, okay, he's there, okay, all his structure is broken, his arms is tied up. If you just try and put your hands away, it's difficult. I mean, he will do it eventually, but yeah, he'll do it eventually, but how long did it take him to get his hands free? And by the time he's got his hands free, I've got that one coming back in, yeah? And then of course, whatever I like to follow in with, yeah? Okay, next movement in the kata, we've got this meigeri. Excuse the wire for the microphone, but we've got this meigeri followed by the circular movements followed by the strike. Now, this can be very simple if you put a guard up, okay? The meigeri, obviously if it lands it can do damage, if not it can just draw his guard down. So I draws his guard down to block it, okay? Then with these rolling hands I can just bang bang and strike. So I can just use it to clear, okay, just clear the way. Okay, so it's from there, first hand goes down, second hand goes down, strike. Okay, so do always guard down and follow through, strike. Okay, and then of course you can go into whatever you like from there. Bite his ear, that's a good one. Okay, or another way that we can use this movement, okay, we've got hand coming down, and then we've got this strike. Well, the strike doesn't necessarily need to be a back fist strike, it can also be an elbow strike. If we've got the person, if you just bend over please, if you've got the person there, it's a good strike coming down there, which I'm going to get him into that position to follow through with a strike. Okay, so let's say he's got his guard out, okay, the first one, from there we normally 1, 2, so I'm just going to use the first one to grab and pull, the second one coming onto the crown of his head and pulling that one down as well. Now I mentioned about the downward elbow, from there I can't reach. That's why I come into this crossover stance. Okay? Because if it's a back fist strike, I can do it from there quite easy. I don't need to bring that back foot up. Okay? I can do it from there. But again, guard up please. If I do it like pulling down, take the balance, pulling down, I do need a crossover so I can come in with that elbow strike. Okay? So that's it there. Right? Now, again, when you're pulling down, okay, if you pull from the back of the neck, I mentioned this earlier on, pulling from there, it resists, it's difficult. If I pull from the crown, it's much, much easier. Okay? So that's why, as we do it, just guard up, okay, just pull, take the balance a little bit, make sure it's the crown of the head. Don't try and get around the back of the head, okay, from the crown, and then it's easier to pull in and follow through. Make sure you're really close quarters, you're right in there, yeah? It won't work from long range, it's got to be close. And again, I can come up with a follow-up with the knee as well afterwards, yeah? Okay, next we're going to look at this sequence, Kakiwaki Uki, the double block, okay, and then we've got the kick and 2 punches. Okay, so there's a number of applications for this. One that I've seen quite a few times is if he comes in with a haymaker, I come in there and then use that one as a strike. Okay, this explains the 45-degree angle. As he's coming in at me, I'm going 45 degrees. Now, part of what happens there, if I just use one hand there, as he comes in, see, it attacks his arm, it actually attacks his arm, it hurts his arm, and it takes all the power out of what he's doing. Rather than me going forward into him, I'm going 45 degrees into the haymaker itself, okay? And as I do so, that leaves me that strike there, okay? So that's one. Another one is, okay, put your hand down now, Paul, thank you. Taken from a grab. So if Paul grabs me, okay, now, one of the most logical things, he's grabbed me with 2 hands, okay, I've got 2 hands free. So it's easier for me to hit him than anything else, okay. I can use that one where we come up in the middle, I can use that as a strike coming up there, okay. That stretches his arms out and weakens his grip a little bit. Now, the only thing I would say is, yes, it's good to be able to hit someone. I've got 2 hands free, he's got 2 hands tied up, so I've got a big advantage here. He's got all his hands tied up. So if someone's grabbed you with both hands, the first thing you should be thinking about is hitting him. The only thing you've got to worry about here is he might want to headbutt me. Yeah, now if I kind of hit and he doesn't do the job and he comes in with a headbutt anyway, then I'm still, in deep trouble. Now, a lot of people use this one as they come through and then they use it to kind of break the other person's grip. Now, if Paul resists, okay, I come up there and it don't work, okay? Not when you've got a non-compliant partner or opponent, okay? Or unless a person's very weak. But this one is like using it to break a grip. Yeah, that may work on a James Bond film, but it doesn't really work very well in real life. However, if I just think of that one as coming up there and use it as a restraint, okay, so he comes in with headbutt, now I've got a restraint from the headbutt, he can't headbutt me, okay? I can use that twisting moment as we come up, I can use that, twist his head around, just stick hands in his face. Okay, there's another option that I have there. So just move in the centre a bit, please, Paul. Okay. Now, the other thing is from here, once I've got into this position, okay, now we're kind of more or less even. We both got our hands tied up. So obviously I want to use the legs. Now, he's got his legs free, same as me. So if I sink into my back stance, which you do in the kata, right, now he's off balance. Okay, so I've got my balance, his balance is broken, and that means I've got a better chance of kicking him than he has of kicking me. I can do that off the front leg, I can do it off the back leg. I haven't really got too much space for a full Maga there, so I might just use the knee. Or if I am going to do a Maga, it's going to come in there. Yeah? Now, just come back in the centre a little bit, please, Paul. Okay, so I've got him off balance. If I come in with a Maga, now you'll see my foot is right on the other side. So that means I'm actually kicking with my shin. Okay, which is a lot nastier. If you are going to kick someone to the testicles, hitting them with a big lump of bone is going to hurt them more than hitting them with a series of little bones. So you want to think about kicking with the shin. Okay, so I'll show you that one again. So, okay, so he's grabbed me. I can hit him, but I'm worried about the headbutt. So I come in, I've got a punch there, and then I come out there, and I sink, pull him off balance. Okay, I can if I want to, maybe headbutt, but his top of his head is towards me here, so I don't want to go in there against the top of his head, which is thick. Okay, I can front leg, I can come in with a back leg, I can just come in with a knee, but I've got the balance and I've got the control, not him. Now the next thing is 2 punches. Okay, so after I've done the kick, whatever kick I decide to do, there's the first punch, pulls him off balance. There's the second punch, he's off balance again. We looked at this one earlier on. Now, from there again, you can do whatever you like. I've got him twisted around, I can just stick the knee in, I can come round with a headlock, okay, whatever you like. But we discussed punches earlier on and taking people off balance. And this is ideal here. Because, like I say, first of all, you've gone into your back stance, you've pulled him off balance once, okay, you've hit him, kicked him, whatever, so he's off balance, he's in pain, and then bang, you know, just twist him round, okay? Paul's a big bloke and I can still move him round. Again, like I said, you can go into the headlock, or you could go into the other part of the kata, one we've done earlier on, yeah? So our next movement we're going to look at is this one at the end of the kata, where it's there, and then turn round. Now, the most obvious one for there, if I can borrow Paul, please. Okay, wherever we've ended up before, it can be used as a grab, grabbing the head, and then striking down. Now, if the person is ready and we're in an aggressive situation, whatever, he's not likely to just let me grab his head. Okay, he's going to be resisting and doing other things as well. So what I suggest is a slightly more likely scenario, use as a double palm heel strike. So I come in, bang, I've stunned him. Okay, that's the first part, where you thrust out. Stun him, okay? You can hit him if you're using the palm heels, you can hit him on the forehead, rock the brain a little bit, you can hit him around the eyes. It doesn't really matter where you hit him. You should be able to, by this stage, you should be able to hit with quite a lot of power. And if you've hit him twice, he should be a little bit dizzy, okay? And then, of course, we pull through, stick the, get the knee in, and then we turn with that shuto. Well, as I turn with the shuto, I can just use that, pull him on his way, yeah? Alternatively, please, Paul. If he comes in with a haymaker, for example, and I've blocked it, I strike, pull him down, and then trap in this arm that he's done the haymaker with, bang, there's my shuto, okay? If we do it around the other side, people might see it better. Okay, so he's done the haymaker, you block it, strike, pull him down, and then trap in this arm, and bang, okay? There's quite a few times where we're turning and we're landing in a shuto. And whenever we do that, like in Heian Yondan as well, we want to be thinking of using that one as an elbow strike, and the other one that we'd normally think of as being a strike, that one used for pulling, trapping and pulling the person onto it. Yeah? Again, I've got my knee down there, which can also do a little bit of mischief as well.